Hello, Janes and Joes. Welcome back to another episode of Building the 1920s with your host, myself, Naj. Last time we took a look at building an Art Deco suburban home, and this time we're going to take a little bit of a different approach to it. This behind me is my rendition of the Mission Revival suburban home. Today we're going to be going through building the exterior, maybe getting some floors in, but we'll leave the interior for next time. So without further ado, let's go ahead, jump right on in, and get started. As with last time, we're going to be building on a very nice and polished andesite base. At some point, after we finish this, we'll go ahead and do some extra exterior decorations, but I do find that this is a lot easier, at least for me, and probably for you all, to follow along. This time it's a little bit different in the build style. I have actually come up with a blueprint, which I built the other house off of, and I will be doing the same for this one. I'll go ahead and put that blueprint up on the screen here. You'll see there are two different layers. I'll explain a little bit of each piece as we go along, but generally, black is structural, blue is glass, and red is our decoration. I don't have any of the exterior decorations in red on either of these, but we will get to that as it comes along. As you can tell in the blueprints, we're going to be going 4 blocks high for the first level. That's before the ceiling, 1 block between the 2 levels for the floor / the ceiling, and then for the second level, 3 high plus the roof. Without getting too much further into it, let's go ahead and get this started. If you took the time to pause the blueprints and count, you would figure out that we are going to be having the first rectangle 24 long. So let's go ahead and get that done. It's also going to be 9 wide, I believe. Yes, 9 wide. Continuing on to the second rectangle here, we have, and I unintentionally did this when I was planning this out, an even number here. This is where the front door is going, so I don't know why I put an even number, but that's what we have, so that's what we're going to be working with. So we have 8 more across, and then we'll be going up 11 before we connect on in. So let's go ahead and get that done too as well. So as you all can see, we have 24 up for the long one, 9 across, and then we have an additional 8 across for the smaller rectangle, and 11 down, connecting it all up. And so to continue, I'll go ahead and knock out the area where the front door is going to be, and we'll actually go ahead and get started here. I'm going to be going up 2 layers at a time here. So we have the section for the door, a window. This is actually knocked out here. Another 2 by window right there, a 1 by window, and the rest of this is going to be just a plain wall. Down here we're going to go 3 total, 3 additional, I should say. We have a 3 wide window, 1, 2, 3, and to finish off this section of the wall. We're going to go up 2 here, and knock out a section for the single door, put the other end of that, a 1 wide window, 2 there, another 1 wide window, a 2 wide window, another 2 wide window, a 1 wide window, and filling the rest right on in. Back here, we're actually just going to go completely straight across. And continuing on up here, we actually have 1, 2, and then a 3 window. 1, 2, 3. Another 3 window. Can get up. Finishing up with that there, another 1 by window, and here. This is the basis of this floor. I'm going to go ahead and finish the floor off, and I'll be right back with the second floor after this little time lapse. Alright, so we're moving on to the second floor now in building this. You'll notice that I have skipped over the fireplace in the first floor. We're going to go ahead and build that after I get the exterior done, the rest of the exterior done first. So again, I'm going to start from right over here, and now we're just going to go up like we did before in R2. For those of you who are more astute, though, you'll have noticed that in my blueprints I actually had the second floor one block shorter than the first in length. I'm not sure why that happened, but we're going to simply adjust and add an extra block at the end of that. So here, starting, we have a 2 wide. We're going to have a 2 window there. Coming over, and we have 2 blocks, another 2 window. As you'll notice, we have added this piece back on in. When we get to the decoration on the inside, we'll determine whether we want that piece there or not. For the time being, we'll leave it there, alone. Coming on up here, we've got 1, 2, 3. A single wide window. And then another 1, 2, then we're going to go ahead and actually fill in the rest of this part of the wall. Over here, this is actually going to be the master bedroom. We have 1 over, and then we have a single window, another single window, and another single window, and finish this off. We're going to go 2 up, a 3 window, 3 blocks of wall, a 2 window, going to have 5 blocks of wall, a 3 window, and then fill the rest of this section of the wall in. Right here we're going to have a 2 wide window. That's actually going to be at the end of the stairs, which would be very nice. Going to continue the wall completely on over to the end here. We're going to go up to 3, have a 5 long window. 2, 3, 4, 5. And bring it up with these 3 here. Alright, I'm not going to finish with walls here for the roof, before we get to the roof actually, and instead we're going to go ahead and begin getting the roof started. So let's go ahead and grab ourselves the polished granite and the granite part of the roof. I'll go ahead and get us started, and then you guys can all follow along while I go through a nice little time-lapse after this. The best thing for this roof, I find, is just to randomize it. Do 2, and then 3, and then a 1, maybe a 2, 2 there. I'm going to, on these windows, skip over them, because we're going to have try to have a nice little archway. And here we're actually going to put 1 more there, and skip on over here. What we're going to be doing is 2 sections of roofs that are going to be rather flat. So go right on back over here. We'll continue this on, skip that section, skip that section, skip that. And like true builders that we are going to go ahead and put our roofs not only 1 out this way, but 1 out this way, giving ourselves a little overhang. Yes, mobs can spawn under there, but it does look a lot nicer. I'm going to go ahead and finish this section of the roof off as best I can, or the entire roof off, I should say, as best I can, and and as we go through, please feel free to follow along. This is just going to be mostly a randomization. I will talk a little bit over when we get to some of the more complicated bits. Alright, so here we're going to go ahead and stop and get to a little bit of this fun section here where we're going to try to create this arch. So, as noticed, as I mentioned before, we're going to go ahead and skip over these windows to get this arch in. To do that, and to do it... not sure why I missed that. To do that, and to do this well, we're going to, instead of bringing it over like so, as I had it, we're actually going to be bringing that and rounding the corner. Up here, we are going to instead bring this piece there, and that there, and we have a little bit of an arch. You can have a little bit more of an overhang if you would like, and in doing so, simply bring out that piece there, and that piece there, and then if you want to take this even further, you can bring those out, although it does start looking a little bit wonky, so I would leave that there if I were you. With these two wide windows, I found that leaving them just like this worked perfectly, except for with the actual windows themselves when they're in. So you just add a little piece like that. It's a little thicker, but it does work in the long run. The other thing you can do is instead bring this there and then bring it right on up to continue on with the roof. Gives you a little bit less of an angle, but it does work for the two wide windows. For the three wide windows, we get to have a little bit more fun. I'll go ahead and finish this piece up here. Just going to bring that across. And here we're going to, in fact, leave this right there and right there, and bring that up one. This trend will continue, and we'll have a nice rounded area that looks, well, quite nice. Again, with this 2, I'm just going to bring this guy on over so we can continue it on. Right, so with the 2, again, we're just going to do just like that. And then this 3 high window, we're going to bring it over, add those 2 in, and bring that guy right on up like that. We're going to continue this the entire way around, and once this section, which is the section I'm going to work on finishing up next, gets completed with this little corner, we will see how the 2 roofs are going to come together. I think at this point we're going to go into another little time lapse, and I'll be back with you very shortly. Alright, so here we are. As you can see, this is the general way this roof is going to look. Not very tall, but it looks very nice, especially with this randomization. It definitely gives it a lot of character. As you can see from the side, adding these 3 wide windows definitely gives a bit more character to the roof as well, bringing it right on up, nice and full. The only issue is this section of the window. it can be tricky to get this to work because you do have a window right there, just because of how the house is laid out with the second bedroom there. So I'm going to leave that there for the time being. Then we come on over to some of the more tricky part of the roof, where we're just going to try and get this to come up nice and easy. And there we go. Now we can go ahead and continue on for this side of the roof, and once that's done, we will begin working on filling in some of these areas, such as right over here, that didn't quite get fleshed out because of everything we've done. So I'll be right back, and we will continue on. Alright, so with the roof done, we're going to come back on in, as I mentioned before, and fill in these sections. This should be fairly easy to do. We're just going to go ahead and get that on in. For these areas, I am going to go ahead and fill that in there. We're just going to have 2 high and then 3 high. This side is fine, this side is fine, and we come over to this area where we're going to, in fact, try to get 4 high. So to do this, we are just going to add that in there, and then bring the rest of these on up. And there we go. Alright, so we're going to go on to the exterior decorations now. So I'll go ahead and clear my inventory. If you watched the first episode, you'll notice that this time there's been no change in the day and night. No change in the weather. I figured out how to turn them off. I'm very proud of myself. In any case, I'm going to go ahead, and the first thing to do is add in our doors. 2 doors there. 1 door there. Easy. Nothing else to do. Next, I'm going to go ahead and grab all of our spruce as well as our glass and our dark oak. So what we're going to do here is one of my favorite tricks. Add that in there. We're going to save the decoration of everything else for just a bit later, and fill all of the glass in first. So the difference between the Mission Revival and the Spanish Revival is literally austerity in the manner of how everything is decorated. Spanish Revival was a lot more focused on making the best looking Spanish house you could possibly get. So you have archways, you have pergolas, you have lots of wrought iron everywhere you look on the staircases, for balconies, and as you notice in this one, there was a little bit of our iron in the balcony, hearkening to the Spanish Revival itself. But this is still Mission Revival that we are building. Here is actually where our balcony is going to be, so I'm not going to put in our windows there, and going to bring that out to floor level. But due to the nature of this series, I will not be doing a Spanish Revival and a Mission Revival. I'll just be doing the Mission Spanish Revival combo, because that will hopefully get us to where we want to be. Alright, going down to the first floor then to start out. For this entrance, we're going to go with one of my favorite things to do. I'm going to bring in our lovely dark oak dark oak wood blocks. Bring in a spruce stair on top of each of those, a fence, and then we're going to add in a little bit of decoration up top there. In fact, that doesn't look as good as I thought for a second it might. So instead, we'll bring those down, put the fences there, and then up top here we have a nice little entrance. If you want to make it even prettier, you can go ahead and grab yourself some spruce logs and just replace them there. You have to do a little bit of work on the inside if you don't want the spruce logs to be seen there, as well as on the side there. But if you do want that look, you can definitely grab that. Which, in this case, I do want it. Very much so. Over here, we're going to bring in a very basic window sill. And to do this, we're going to grab stair, 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 up top, stair, all across. And then we're going to bring in a little bit of height variation on these. Down here, we're going to have our dark oak wood again. And this time, we're going to go all the way up. On those. And to keep our height variation that I really, really wanted, we'll just bring that in there on that side. Again, down here, we'll go ahead and do the same thing. And we will continue this along this area with the height variation just like that. Since we're in the neighborhood, let's go ahead and take care of these windows. We're going to do just some simple trapdoors. There, and then here we're going to bring in just another trapdoor on top of that. And again, we'll bring in the trapdoors there. Very simple decoration. And to finish all of this off, we're actually going to bring this section out just a titch so we can have a little bit more of that finishing finishing. Here, this window won't have as great of a view because of this, but when you're inside looking out, it's not going to be that terrible. Alright, there is the first section. Okay, so down here we're going to go ahead and bring these guys in. And then we're going to take our dark oak wood and put it in between. Spruce stairs on top. Finish off the doorway right here. And then over top of the spruce stairs, we're actually going to bring in our trapdoors. And then right in here, we're going to change things up and put in now, not really change it up there, but we're going to change it up right around here and just add these pieces in along this section. This will help us when we actually build up our platform. Along the rest of this, we're just going to fill in this balcony section just as before with these lovely pieces. And there we go. Our nice backdrop over there. So coming on in to finishing up this, let's go ahead and take dark oak wood there. And then here we're going to place a fence and another fence. Finish this up right here. Gives us just a little bit of variation and a little bit of us looking like there's some age to this. Right on up top, we will again go ahead and bring this on out. So and one more here. There we go. Now we're going to go and grab our iron, the bit of iron that we have to commemorate the Spanish revival as well. And bring that in right here. Add a trapdoor. There. And bring up our fences to connect it right on up. And there we have our little balcony. And here we have basically all of our decorations on the outside completed, except for a few things. We have to get our fireplaces put in. So for this, I'm just going to go ahead and grab all of our blocks, and we're going to come on over here. If you take a look at the blueprints for the first level, we have 5 wide, starting 1 in from the corner. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm not going to worry about the interior just yet, but I will bring that out right like that. And fill that in. So out here, we're going to just add in a little bit of variation. And continue that variation right on up to the next floor, which brings us right there. Here we're going to go in with a stair there, and a stair there, and cut out this section for this piece. So again, I'm not going to worry too much about the inside at the moment, because there's nothing to do since we don't have an interior yet. But again, on the outside, we're going to add in this variation. Going to go up another level here. Here we're going to pop in this section. Bring ourselves in just a little cheat block there. And cheat block there. And then we'll go ahead and bring this right on up a couple of blocks. Just to get a little bit of height. On this side, I'm going to bring this up to give us just a little bit more structure. Since our fire is only from one spot, we'll go ahead and take that there and grab our spruce trapdoors. And then put that there and even bring in just like that. For a little bit more, we can go ahead and put hay bale, depending on how far away you would like to see your house from. And if you do that, you'll have to just bring the spruce down just a little bit more, or do something else to make it stand out just that little bit. Now you might be saying, well, this section looks really plain. One of the things we can do, now that all this is done, is to bring in some exterior work, which we'll actually do in the decoration portion of the episode, which will be episode 4 of this series, next episode. For now, I'm going to leave you with this. Hopefully you'll take some time to go ahead and get this gone through. We'll go ahead and just take a little bit of a pass around to get a nice full view of what we've done today. If you have any questions, comments, things that you would have done differently than me, or just areas where you really, or just comment that you really, really like it, always appreciate the comments down below. And please don't forget that if you truly did like it quite a bit, please subscribe, leave a like, a comment of course, and even ring that bell so you can see when each video comes out from here on. But for this week, this is all we've got time for, so I do hope you have enjoyed, and I will see you next Friday for the next episode of Building the 1920s with Naj. I hope you all have had a wonderful time, and I look forward to seeing you next week. And if you hadn't heard, I've got a new series every Monday, Let's Play Mondays, with myself, Naj, and my little brother, who's been on YouTube a little bit longer than I have. He goes by Delphinius Gaming, or Delphi. If you are coming over here from his channel, I do hope that you've enjoyed what you've seen, and I hope you'll follow us for our adventures, or misadventures as it were, in that series. Every Monday, Let's Play Mondays with Naj and Delphi. Hope to see you there.